What's up, guys? Medium Wave Dave. Happy Thursday. It is April 11th. Uh, going to get into a quick update, KPI update, and then we're going to go into what is an SOP and why it is important in our business as real estate investors or any business that's really, because at the end of the day, we're still business owners, we're entrepreneurs. So this is all relevant. We've just chosen real estate as our vehicle. But let's go. So, where do we start? We started on April 3rd. We're now the 11th. Total leads, not including today. I'm always doing the day before. We're at 27. Total spend. We're actually at $4,600. Now, the part I didn't tell you, and I'll dive deeper into this, but we're using PPL, not PPC. So the reason I've been giving lower numbers is because with PPL, we're testing a couple different providers. With PPL, they usually have dispute policies for wholesalers, for listed properties, for mobile homes, or a number of different reasons. So there's like our gross spend and then our net spend. I've been going off our net is the number I've been giving you guys. Our gross spend is technically $4,600 right now, and for 27 leads, our net spend is $2,850. I'm gonna give our cost per lead off the net. So with 27 leads, we're at $106 per lead. Pretty damn good. Again, the KPIs we're shooting for was about 20 leads, probably 30 gross, assuming like a 30%-ish dispute rate, but 20 net leads per deal. We are getting close, guys. 27 leads. We have made 2 offers so far. Nothing new. Let's go through yesterday's leads. Yesterday we got 7. Our gross spend was $1,300. Our net was $600. A lot of disputes yesterday. We actually disputed, of those 7, 4 of them. If I go into why, we had usually, so this is just the reality of this. This is a pain in the ass, right? Like, you're all excited, all of a sudden, like, boom, your cell phone dings, like, you're like, you got a lead. Your CRM, your Slack, your wherever everything gets sent, it's like all hands on deck, like, oh my God, call it right away. And then the people are like, who the hell are you? Now, like, this boggles my mind. I don't know how this happens, because these people have searched to sell their house ideally, come across through keyword optimization, like our form. They filled it out. They had to like double click and confirm that they're actually meant to do this. I have to assume there's people out there messing with the system. It could be competitors blowing our budget. I don't really know. I just have to work with what we got, and I know that dispute policies exist for a reason. I'm going to account for that. I care at the end of the day what's our net. But of those leads, we deaded 3, and 4 of them are essentially in a lead status that we refer to as discovery. It means we haven't got them on the phone yet. So super annoying. And this actually, the reason I that's for today's topic on what is an SOP is just about this, right? We know that in this business, follow-up is where the money is. So I'm going to talk briefly about the SOPs of following up with leads, but then first, what is an SOP? Standard operating procedure. When do you create an SOP? Pretty much any process that you're doing repetitively that you can assign to someone else, that you can outsource, that you can hire, anyone that can take, kind of the non-money making tasks that have to be done to run the business off your plate, that you could ideally then organize into a job or a role that you can then hire someone for. And, there's essentially a training in place of like, here's how we define success in this role. Here's what we expect from you. Here's how you should use your time. Here's the results we would expect to get. And then, when you're doing performance reviews and seeing what's working, what's not working, that gives you something to refer back to. So, because if you're going to hire someone, you owe it to them to set them up for success. What does that mean? It means clearly defining what their job is, what you expect from them, and providing the training to do so. So anything that you find yourself doing repeatedly in your business, you should document and you should turn into a process. You can use, like Loom is a great one. Use Loom, just do a screen record and a call. Walk through doing, hey, this is how I pull data. Hey, this is how I skip trace with this provider. Hey, this is how I underwrite. Underwriting is going to take a little more time. You'll probably do that a lot of times, but there's a lot of things that are just extremely repetitive and boring that document it once, organize it into a folder that becomes a training manual. You'll never have to do it again. Freaking amazing. If it's a role that you're going to hire for repeated times, like, our goal in my business is right now we have one acquisition rep. The goal is to have multiple acquisition reps. So training an acquisition rep once, creating that SOP, creating those training kind of Loom videos or whatever format you choose. Beauty is whenever we hire anyone new, we no longer have to onboard them and train them. We say, hey, here's your folder of this job description of how we define success, of the tasks you're going to be doing. Watch these. We expect it'll take about this long. And then let's jump on live. Let's ramp you up. Let's get you going. We love SOPs. I wish, I was conscious of them when I first started this business. I was not organized enough. I knew what I knew, but I didn't, do as I say, not as I do. But yeah, so that is the importance of SOPs. Now, how do SOPs relate to our leads? Again, we are spending a bunch of money on these inbound leads. So if we don't have some kind of, system in place on how we're going to deal with them, then we are leaving money on the table and we are going to go out of business. So let's not do that. Bad idea. I'm going to get into real quick, depending how your business is, there's going to be different roles at scale, but right now you're probably doing everything yourself. So let's just go through. You're going to need statuses for your leads. This is going to be super important. A brand new lead, untouched, like nobody's actually tried to contact it at all. That's going to be your highest priority. That's your kind of like drop everything. Unless you're on, really, realistically, if you're on a call with someone else, you can't just be like, hey, I got to grab this. That's just kind of rude and unprofessional. So don't do that. But for all intents and purposes, a brand new lead, we know that the more time that passes between when they fill out that form and when you call them to get them on the phone, the less likely you are to get them on the phone. And as we can see, of the 7 that came in yesterday, I have 4 that we haven't got on the phone. I'll have to look at the bigger kind of CRM of what that stat looks like. But what I will say is, because we have a really good follow-up system, that over time our competition most likely drops off having weak follow-up systems, and that's where we get to pick up the opportunities. So whatever your system is, just have one, be on top of it, be consistent. Consistency wins every time in this business, I guarantee it. But so we're going to prioritize. So again, lead prioritization. We're going to call the brand new fresh ones is going to be a top priority. Then we're going to have anyone, we'll have a hot list. So our hot list is going to, then we're going to have a hot list. That's the stuff that's just like, hey, we identified these people, check all the boxes. The numbers make sense. Like let's get these under contract. Those you're going to, so where's our hot list? You're hitting them every day. You're hitting them numerous times. You're hitting them with numerous numbers. You're doing whatever you got to do. You're texting them. You're sending carrier pigeons and smoke signals, and I don't care. Our hot list is where there's money literally just sitting there waiting to be picked up. So that is our hot list. We have our new untouched. Rule of thumb, I've said a minute, but realistically, because life happens, you're most likely doing other things all the time. Within 10 minutes, you want to make sure you get to them. And have a process for if you can't, have a process for if things come in after hours. We run our marketing 24/7, and we're finding that a lion's share of leads do come in. Yesterday's leads began at local Eastern time, as is our primary market right now, and leads began coming in at 8:16 p.m. So we had 6 leads. I think there was one lead here. I could actually tell you when they came in. All right, yesterday's leads. Hold on a sec. All right, we had a 10:06 a.m. And then at 8:16 p.m., 9:18 p.m., 9:25 p.m., 9:40 p.m., 10:41 p.m., 11:29 p.m. Nobody's working at those hours. We don't expect anyone to work at those hours. So just have something. What we do is the beginning of the next business day is when we expect to get them during normal business hours. So we have our hot list. We have our fresh leads that just came in. And then we have our interested. We've already took them through our script, our process, qualified them, and we haven't made an offer yet. So we've got to call back and make an offer. That's our next priority. And then we start getting into the people that we haven't gotten in touch with. Obviously, deads, for whatever reason, don't worry about them. We're never going to touch them again. Do not calls, deads, all that kind of stuff. The people that we, call it whatever you want, call them cold leads if you want. Just keep it easy. But anyone we didn't get in touch with on these leads, the frequency of how often we contact them will basically just go down over time. We're always trying to prioritize the fresher leads first. So, there's a different kind of cadence for something that's like just came in this week, and within that first 7 days time frame, and then it kind of like goes down after 30 days. So remember, I've mentioned this before, but if you didn't dial 3 times, you didn't dial once. We are big on triple dialing. Triple dialing. Ring, 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 nothing, hang up. Ring, 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 nothing, hang up. Ring, ring, ring. No. Oh, hey, so you're trying to get in touch with me. Who the hell is this, right? So dial 3 times. That extra dial does make a difference. Do you have to go beyond that? I don't know. We're all figuring this out as we go. 3 times, though. Remember that. Thank me later. So, what are we doing? We're calling. It depends how big your pipeline is also. If you've been at this for a while and you're at the point where you have like thousands of leads, you probably already have these processes in place. In the beginning, you're going to be hitting people a little more aggressively until you get to the point where you have hundreds or thousands of leads. Then you're going to be prioritizing the newer leads first. And then if you get to the stuff that's 60 days out, 90 days, understand that your likelihood of getting them on the phone is going to keep going down. So you're just going to prioritize those a little less, but don't let them slip through the cracks. Keep doing that. We do have leads convert that filled out our form. I mean, especially inbound leads, right? I'd say this is more important than outbound, because inbound, these people probably, for whatever reason, they were drunk one night, they saw an infomercial, who knows what happened. They filled out your form. They maybe filled out a handful of our competitors. I have to assume that most of our competitors are horrible at running their business, because it's the truth. And so the more consistent we are, like the higher likelihood we have of winning. So have something, don't just let them die off if you didn't get them in 30 days. Have, have calls set on your task manager, however you're doing it, for 60 days, 90 days, 6 months out, a year out, whatever. Don't let it drop. Have some kind of SOP build around that. If you've dialed them X number of times, maybe you try, but you've never mailed them, maybe try mailing them. Maybe try a different contact method, you're texting and dialing. Like, if you think it's a smoking property, like, send someone to their door. Like, go get a door knocker. But, because at the end of the day, going that extra mile does make the difference. But that's it. That was our KPI update for April 11th. That is what is an SOP and the importance of it. I'm not going to do these live anymore, as I mentioned, but thanks for tuning in. Bring me questions, and we're going to do this for a while. At least until we do a deal in this market and actually get through it, because then that'll start opening up a whole bunch of other cool topics. We'll talk about stuff related to an actual renovation in a virtual market, and we'll track kind of like how many days from when we generated the lead till it turned into a contract till we closed it. We'll talk about probably raising private capital. We'll talk about managing contractors. We'll talk about all kinds of fun stuff, working with realtors. It's going to be a fun little journey. So thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.